Uh, database is composed of three core category of files: control file, data files, and online redo logs files. These three are very critical and important. These three categories of file is called core categories, and without these three categories there is no existence of database. So first we study data files. Data files can be a lot of data files, like in a very large uh, database. You may have GBs, terabytes, exabyte, a lot of data files you can have, totally dependent on the system and the data associated with that infrastructure or system. So now, what is inside data files? It's metadata, committed data, undo data, temp data, application data. All the data is present in the data file. Like we have Oracle user sys system, and if we create a different user, so all the data related to sys system user will be placed inside data files, along with the data dictionary, which is associated with, by default with every Oracle database. The extension of data files is DBF, and these data files are not in human readable shape. They are binary files, encrypted, and we can compress it. We can encrypt it, transparent data encryption, 128 bytes or 256 byte. These files are normally inside Oracle base. Any student which are familiar with Oracle infrastructure, Oracle database infrastructure, may know that U01/app/Oracle is our Oracle base. Inside this folder, we have got another folder in the name of the instance, and inside that folder, there is another folder, Aura data. Most environment uses the same architecture, and files are placed in the Aura data folder. This is by default using OFA, Oracle flexible architecture, which is like first it will go to your Oracle base, and there you create an directory with the name of the instance, and inside that directory there is directory Aura data, uh, which is having all these data files. The second category is online redo log files. Normally we call it redo logs, and whenever there is any transaction on the database, the beginning of a transaction place is started with any DML command. Whenever a transaction is started, it is most probably started with the DML command, like insert, update, delete, or merge command. This will start a transaction. Or whenever there is a DDL command run on the database data definition language, this will start a transaction. create, drop, alter, rename, and truncate. DDL by default is auto commit. Any DDL transaction fire a commit before starting and fire again a commit after execution. DDL transaction is a standalone transaction, and the third type of transaction is DCL, which include grant and revoke. These two are included in the DCL command. DCL data control language. Whenever these three type of transactions are started on the database, so these transaction will write down their recovery transaction on the online redo log files. So these transaction will write down all the recovery information about this execution on the online redo log files. In the scenario, if the transaction is aborted or rollback, or if you lose any of your transaction, so from where we will recover this transaction. So keep in mind that the recovery of this transaction will be written on online redo log files. So whenever any transaction is going to take place on these data files, the backup information of that transaction will be written to online redo log files. Online redo log files are used in a circular fashion, like we have three redo log files. Whenever the transaction recovery backup or logs are written on the online redo logs 01. When this file is filled, the transaction log recovery is transferred to online redo log 02, and when this one is filled, again the transaction goes to the third file redo log 03, and whenever this file is full, again the transaction are transferred to redo 01, and these transactions are overwritten. There are groups of redo logs, and each group have one member inside. Group are logical, and the member inside the group is physical. In each Oracle database instance, we need at least two redo log files. Minimum two redo log files are must, and more than two, like three or four, these are best for the Oracle database. Now, if we want that if these redo log files are filled, and as we discussed that we have three members, and this work in round fashion, like if this one fills, the control is transferred to this file second, and after the second one is filled, the control is transferred into third. When the third is filled and the control is again transferred to one, redo log 01, and this is overwritten. So before overwriting this redo 01, you want to take a backup of this file. So that backup will go to archive redo logs files. This backup, at the point when this um, redo log file is going to be overwritten, and we want to take a backup of this, so we enable a functionality of database which is archiving, and this data inside this file is written into archive redo log files.